We're the Hebrew Israelites. We come out week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of this kingdom of Babylon, which you call the United States of America. First off, I'd like to give all praises and honor to Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.
double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the possible elect across the globe doing this work with sincerity and in truth, making their bodies a living sacrifice. We're another day, May 14, 2017. We're in Babylon, Las Vegas. It is Mother's Day, a day that Esau has declared that he's gonna give all rights and privileges to women. So we are here to prophesize what the Lord said about women today. And we ain't gonna spare no feelings. So if your feelings get hurt, oh well.
Okay.
It's in the book. So we're gonna start off with Isaiah 58:1.
Isaiah 58, verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins.
That's right, we out here, we're gonna be speaking loud. Some people say we speak loud, we rude. Our speech is rude, but we don't care. We ain't sparing no feelings. The Lord don't care about your feelings. And we out here to tell our people their wrongs and how to get it right. We ain't worried about the other nations, but if they come up, we're gonna give them their judgment as well. So, he says, spare no feelings. He says, cry loud, spare not. So we're gonna lift up our voice like a trumpet. We ain't gonna spare no feelings.
That's right.
Man, woman, or child.
I got another.
Go ahead, bro.
This is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 19. If ye be willing and obedient, you shall eat of the good of the land. But if you refuse and rebel, you shall be devoured with the sword, for the mouth of the Lord have spoken it.
That's right. If you be obedient, the Lord is going to take care of you. But if you rebuke and rebel, like by not following the laws, statutes, and commandments that the Lord has set up for us, you're going to get devoured. Esau's sword is going to get you. He's going to get you by his military, his police, and his judicial system.
That's right.
He set all this up. That's part of his sword. Sword ain't just cutting you up and killing you. He can beat you down with his judicial system, put you in the penitentiary for life, for unrighteous decrees. Everything, all the laws that they make in America mostly are to put down the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans anyway. That's what these laws are for. They are unrighteous, and they are not, he doesn't hold himself to the same standard.
What he said.
You're going into slavery.
That's right.
Anyway, that's another one of Esau's kids right there that we don't care nothing about, and we out here to tell him boldly in his face that he's going into slavery.
That's right.
Thus says the Holy Bible. If you don't believe it, pick it up and read it for yourself. Your pastor will not tell you the ugliness and the nastiness of these scriptures. God is not all love. He also hates.
That's right.
And the main people that he hates are the Edomites, the so-called Caucasian race. He hates their guts. They're called Esau in the Bible. If your pastor has never told you the story about Jacob and Esau, we'll go into that shortly. But believe me, he hates Esau. He says he loves Jacob, which are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and he hates Esau.
Yeah, but going back to the Lord saying to cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. That's basically we got to get on Israel.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, we got to call Jake out on their transgressions against the Heavenly Father. And today is one of those heavy days where Jake is going totally astray and revolting backwards against the Heavenly Father. Right now is what you would consider the worship of the woman.
That's right, bro.
All right, that's what Mother's Day is all about, worshiping your mother.
Women in general.
Yeah, and women, basically any woman that holds that capability of reproducing. Okay, she has ovaries, the fallopian tube. You know what I'm saying? She got the little egg or whatever. Any woman that have that in this society, she's worshipped.
Kind.
All right, all that fertility worship is nothing new. It all goes back to time of old, man.
Kind.
The ancient wicked Babylonians, they were worshiping the fertility of women. They started off with the mother goddess Semiramis. Okay? That's where it all begun. All right? And those Babylonians, they took those legends and they held it strictly as a tradition. And that knowledge basically it trickled down generation after generation to where when other kingdoms arose, they took on that, they adopted those traditions and those beliefs. And here we are thousands of years later, and you people are doing the exact same thing. But the worship is, the concept is just a little different. It's a little spin to it, and you call it after a different name. But it's no different than what they were doing thousands of years ago. All right? Mother's Day, Semiramis Day, son worship day, it's all the same thing. All right, you're supposed to worship the Creator, man. You honor your mother, but you also honor your father.
That's right, bro.
But in this society, they push to worship the mother, and the father don't even get the same respect. That's why they have all these different sales, you know, to buy up all these different material items to basically pleasure your mother. But yet, when Father's Day comes, it's not the exact same thing.
Seed bearer.
You know, and he's the one that pushes the seed. You know, women like to make that bold statement to their child after they have them. I gave you breath. I gave you life. No, you didn't. No, you did not. Everybody is breathing the breath of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
That's right.
All right, he's the father of spirits. Okay?
You give breath.
He the one that gives life, not you. You incubate that child. That's what you do.
That's right.
But you didn't create him, and you didn't give him the breath that he breathes. All right? So through the spirit, hey, we gonna cut that mama worshiping spirit today, man. That Tupac dear mama spirit, that shit gets rebuked, man.
That's right.
All right? You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're celebrating. And that's totally against the Heavenly Father, man. He does not delight in these wicked pagan holidays that America pushes, man. Amos 5. Amos 5, what was that, 21?
Okay, yeah. Amos 5 and 21. I despise your feast days.
Yeah, the Lord said he hates and despises your feast days, talking about you Israelites, man. You so-called Negro, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you don't keep the high holy days that he commanded you to keep. You keep after the traditions that your oppressor told you to keep.
Valentine's
Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas,
Thanksgiving.
Easter, Thanksgiving,
Halloween.
You know, those are not the days that the Lord commanded. You will not find any of those days in the book.
That's right.
Not one of them.
Those are not our days. These are your oppressors' days. Customs of the heathens.
And every so-called pagan holiday that America pushes, it has a pagan, idolatrous origin to it, man.
Hey, you gonna keep it?
All the traditions of wicked men, heathens. The Lord said he despises and hates that, man. So when our people get together, and this is the only day that our people want to come together and show their mother some form of value, that's very hypocritical, man. And now, not only that, but you're giving the glory that you're supposed to give the Most High to the woman.
That's right.
You're supposed to give glory, respect, and honor to the Creator. His name is Yahweh, man.
That's right, bro.
All right? You value your mother. You give respect for your mother. You do certain things that she needs you to do. Okay? Because that's one of the commandments. Honor your father and your mother. That your days may be prolonged. But the scriptures never told you to worship your mother.
Kind.
And that's what the men of this society, that's what they do.
Well, your baby's mother,
Yeah.
you know.
Recently there was something that came out about a so-called black woman. She smacked the shit out of her son because he created a Mother's Day card or something that he was making at school, but it was towards her grandmother. It was to his grandmother. And when she realized that it wasn't to her, she lost it and beat the hell out of her. And she ended up getting locked up.
Good for
Because she
her.
was expecting for that gift to be to her.
But more than likely, stop y'all. More than likely, grandmama raised that boy.
That's what.
Yeah.
Kind.
That's why he paid homage to that mother. His grandmother, the one who truly nurtured him.
Yep.
You know, mother was probably out kicking it, partying, and all that other shit.
Always putting her
You know,
child,
and
putting him on
he
her.
stayed with grandmama. So he revered his grandmother more than his mother, like most of Jake do. You know, I am a product of that as well. Not that my mother wasn't there partying, she was working. So my grandmother did most of the rearing. But I did live with my mother, but my grandmother did most of the rearing, you know? So I did give more reverence to my grandmother than my mother, not on purpose, but that's just how it went far as that pecking order went. Whoever feeds you and nurtures you, that's who it is. When they raise animals up from birth, them animals at some point think that man is they nurturer. So they reverence that human, even though that human is not their natural birth parent.
Yeah.
So it goes like that, you know.
And we living in a matriarchal society, you know. So that's where a lot of the men of our nation, that's why they hold so dearly to the woman. All right, because they're raised under a matriarch instead of a patriarchal society.
The father was put on the back burner.
Yeah, the father is on the back. The mother is exalted in front of the father, man.
Yes, in this society.
In this society. But that also goes back to the curse that the Lord placed upon us, man. And Esau used that as an advantage against us. Okay? So now the predominant rule of the household is strictly the woman, the mothers. Okay?
And here in America, that is celebrated here in Babylon. You hear it all the time, especially amongst the people on this side. When it comes to rearing the children are told all the time, I don't need no man, I'm your mother and your father. The black woman says that. I guarantee you go to any black family in America, there's a black woman that has to say, I don't need no man.
Yeah.
She says it all the time to the point where she don't deserve one.
Kind.
And when she's seen when she's finally in her old age and she don't have one, then she want to run her ass back to the church and make Jesus her husband, her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because she done ran off every man that she done had. Because it's one thing, no matter what happens in society, that man doesn't change. He is not gonna let no woman rule over him.
Kind.
He will leave his kids and that woman. He's not gonna let a woman rule over him. And that's natural. That's the way the Lord set it up. And the only reason why he runs away is because Esau has put the woman above the man. So when that woman gets to talking that crap, that shit about, I don't need you and this and that man gets gone. He gonna find him another woman. Because it's 7, 8 women to one man. You gonna find one that's gonna do what you want her to do. So that your baby's mother is left to herself. And Esau, I was watching a video just the other day. It was not a video, a movie. It goes back to 1974. It's called Claudine. And if anybody ever seen Claudine, it's what's his name? James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones, yeah.
And what's the black woman's name? I forget her name. Anyway, no. I forget her name. But anyway, this whole movie is developed around Section 8 and how Section 8 laws were developed to push the black man out of the home. And it's a scene in the movie where the black woman even says she can't wait to divorce Esau, which is the white man, because he holding her back from finding a real man. Because even in the movie, James Earl Jones wanted to marry Claudine, but he said, if I marry you, now I gotta foot the bill for all them other niggas' kids that you didn't have. So he was reluctant to marry her, but eventually, because it's Hollywood, he married her anyway and took on that responsibility. But it was a point in the movie where the Section 8 people came to the house and looking through closets and shit, trying to make sure that there was no traces of a man in the house. And if it was, the assistance was going to get taken away. And this is the start of when the real breakdown of the black family started in America as far as this generation.
Women's
lib and all that other shit, you know, and they took it on willingly because they was given all these goodies, Section 8, housing, food stamps, EBT, assistance with they
give you daycare,
everything. As long as that man wasn't around, Esau was gonna take care of him, and these black women went along with that.
Sure did.
So now they to the point where, oh, I don't need no man, and they say it proudly.
It was Diane Carroll, that
Diane
actress.
Yeah.
She was in another show back then that pinpointed the exact same thing. She played some woman that I believe she was a nurse, and she was able to live in a suburban area to be able to raise her children. But once she got to a certain point, she realized that she had to work so much, so she couldn't care for her children at the house. You know, so the man had to leave. You know, and what she do? She ended up getting with Esau. You know, and yeah,
we going to more of these. It's countless movies. I'm gonna just name a couple more movies. You had that movie with Halle Berry called Monster's Ball.
Yep.
Well, the monster really had a ball with Halle Berry. First, the monster killed her husband, executed her husband in prison, which was Puff Daddy. Then her fat, overweight son got hit by a car. So the only thing Halle Berry was left to do was to turn to a trailer trash CO in the prison and start messing with this man. And it was called Monster's Ball. Another movie that's coming out right now, if you've been watching TV lately, it's been advertised lately. It's almost a remake of The Boy in the Bubble. But this time they got a black girl who can't come out the house, and her only savior is this little white boy who's across the street from her, and she's willing to risk her life and come out the house. And because her immune system is so weak, but she's willing to risk her immune system to go be with Esau, for even if it's just for one day. And this is what they pushing the nigger woman toward Esau. And this is reared to the youth. A little young black girl, and her whole thing is to get with this little white boy who can go outside, basically. So Esau always perpetuates him as the savior of the black woman. Even if she's at her door's death, despair, dire straits, he's always the savior of this black woman. So
Scandal.
Scandal is real big. The black woman plays a whore. She's supposed to be educated, political woman, but the whole time she's a concubine to Esau. Well, bed wench, ain't no concubine. She a bed wench to Esau, and his the whole time this man is married. And she don't see nothing wrong with it, you know. But this is the role that the black woman has played here in America when it comes to Esau.
That's the vibration.
And that same man wants you to bow down to her.
Yeah.
He lifted her up, he exalted her. Now he wants you men, the men of your nation, to worship before her feet. All right, that's the doing of the damn devil, man. And let's not forget, going back to the time of the garden, he told her, hey, you be equal with God if you come in and get this knowledge. You know, he made that pact, that promise to her back then. You be equal with God. And what happened? Adam ended up following Eve to his destruction, and now there's sin on the earth. Now we understand the knowledge of evil. Now women gotta have birth pain. All that shit, man.
3 and 5. 3 and 4.
You know?
Started 4.
So if you want to technically talk about Mother's Day, Well, let's talk about the mothers. Let's talk about the mother of sin. Okay? Because this is a day where women are puffed up and proud right now. Because they're getting good gifts from their children as if they deserve it. Okay? Like they're the perfect mothers of society, man. Motherhood is the worst it's ever been in the history of mankind, man. There's no real true motherhood, especially in this society, man. It's way more neglect of children and child abuse in this society than ever, man. The predominant household in the so-called black community, the majority of children suffer child abuse. At the hand of who? You gotta factor in the father is usually never there, so who's there doing the abusing? The mother.
You ain't shit. Your daddy ain't shit.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Always lowering the self-esteem, especially the male child. His self-esteem is beat down by the time he get to adolescence, and that's why they develop that weak spirit, that faggoty spirit, like these motherfuckers right here. You know. You know.
They take on that vibration of their mom, that feminine vibration.
Yeah.
They all emotional when shit don't go their way. You know, they throw tantrums just like their mom. You know, they take on that
And
vibration.
can't no real man speak to them because they've been told can't no man tell them nothing by their mama so long. So they don't respect men, so they end up going to jail, and guess what? They end up getting raised by men. Hardcore men.
Let's hit the scripts.
This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for the Most High doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall
meaning your spiritual eye will be open. To what? To the knowledge of good and evil. You know both sides. You'll have balance. That's what that meant. And the serpent told Eve that he seduced her.
Yep.
Much like how he seduces the black woman in the education system, no different. All right? He made her hip to the game, so to speak. All right? And the knowledge was food for her thought. All right? Keep going, huh?
Then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Yeah, you're going to be as gods, man. You're going to be a power on the earth. Okay? And I'm sure she interpreted that as, you mean to tell me as a woman who's supposed to be under my man, I will be
Over him?
I will be equal with him, and I'll be as a god, so I'll be equal with my creator. I'll know what he know. You know? Because the natural order wasn't so. She was supposed to just be obedient under her husband and serve him. All you're supposed to know is what he told you to do. That's all a woman is really supposed to know, man. Nurtured and groomed up to serve her husband. All right, he's her Lord. All right? Go ahead.
Keep reading Genesis.
Keep going. It's all going into it.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that
it was food for thought, you know, it opened up her spiritual eyes. She got fed the knowledge. It's all symbolic. It's all parabolic talk, man. All right? People read the book of Genesis like a damn a novel, man. All right? You don't read the Bible like a novel, man. The Spirit of the Lord got to be supping with you to understand these breakdowns. Keep going.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her.
She took that knowledge that she learned from the heathen and made him sit down, and she started telling him. This is what I learned from the serpent, from the other nations, which are the trees in the midst of the garden. All right? Just like what she take in from Esau's school system, she imposed that over her children. Over, you know, she tried to get over on the husband and make it seem like she's more educated than he is. So she tried to be smarter than he is. That's why a lot of marriages fail, because a lot of the so-called black women, she value her so-called education system over everything else, because she feel like that gives her power over her man. And she gets to it gets to the point where she becomes stubborn. You can't tell her shit. Well, this is what the textbooks say. This is what I learned in college. You know, and you wasn't educated, by the way. You was just indoctrinated.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was to keep you more dumbed down and asleep. Subservient, man. Keep you thinking inside the box. That's all college do to you, man. So the serpent, he came with that same spirit, because that same spirit that was in the serpent is the exact same spirit that's in the so-called white man today. And she holds that same man as her God. And these are the women that you're worshiping today.
That's right.
This same serpent, he's declared a national holiday that you are to bow down and worship her. Meanwhile, she worshiped him. So in retrospect, who are you worshiping? You serve the damn devil.
Two of them.
All right, you serving Semiramis, which is, you know, going back to ancient Babylon, but you also serving the so-called white man. And the Lord said he hates and despises your feast days. All you so-called, you men, you know, you taking your mothers out to eat, or your baby mamas out to eat, or your grandmothers out to eat. You could do that any time of the year. But the fact that you're doing it today is because it's ingrained in you to keep the traditions of men, your oppressors. And you don't realize that you're worshiping what you know not. All right? So keep going in Genesis, bro.
And he gave also unto her with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they
meaning they were ashamed, and they understood that the Most High, the fact that they learned what they learned, the Most High knows your thoughts. Okay, He knows your hearts. So when they took in that knowledge, they had to know, like, damn, the Most High probably, you know, He probably know that we're doing this and we weren't supposed to do it. You know. So they tried to hide themselves amongst these other nations. Keep going. And this is the ultimate mother right here. Like, since this is so-called Mother's Day, right? We're going into your mother.
That's right.
And how the serpent beguiled her. Go ahead, huh?
And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
Go ahead.
And they heard the voice of the Lord Yahweh walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord Yahweh amongst the trees of the garden.
Yep. They tried to hide themselves amongst the other nations, man. You know, they learned of the other customs. They became like the other nations way back then, since the beginning. Okay? Go ahead.
And the Lord Yahweh called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself.
Hey, and your voice was representing the prophets. You had prophets going back during the time of Adam and Eve, man. You had men on the earth. There wasn't just the only two people on the earth when he created man and woman. There were nations of people back then, and there were different under different classes of people. Okay, but you have the Adamites. This is what that's going into, with Adam and Eve being, you know, the progenitors. All right. So basically the prophets start cussing their ass out, man, and that's how they knew that, you know, oh shit, man. Go ahead.
verse 10. And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself.
Yep.
And he said, who told thee that thou wast naked?
the prophets told him that they was naked, man. You know? Because the scriptures is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Most High is also synonymous with a garment. You get Revelation, what's that? I believe it's the 14th chapter. Blessed is he that keepeth his garment. I believe it's 14 and like 13. I'll look it up, bro. Read that verse again. I'll look it up in the blue letter.
And he said, who told thee, verse 11, and he said, who told thee thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat?
What he said.
Hold on. Yeah, Esau is a faggot, man. But the scriptures tell you you're gonna have scoffers walking in these last days. They're gonna be mocking you.
Yep.
You know, oh yeah, what he said. You know, basically thinking this is all a joke. This is just one side show that you can just heckle and make fun of. You know.
The joke's on you, Esau.
But the joke is really on Esau because his kingdom is getting ready to fall. All right. But the precept is Revelation 16 and 15. Get Revelation 16 and 15.
Here we go. Revelation 16 and 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garment, lest he walk naked and they see his shame.
Yeah, man. And that garment is talking about this knowledge. All right? We was only supposed to know the knowledge of good. He told us to stay with one tree. Okay? The tree of life. But instead, the serpent, all right, which was a man, he went and he seduced her and told her, no, you can come and learn of this too. That represented the philosophy and the idolatry and all the wickedness of the heathen nations. You always hear college students tell you, you're supposed to think big. You're supposed to learn all culture. You're supposed to get into everything. Mainly the so-called the women, especially these women, because they're predominantly in the college system. They're the main ones pushing that. You know, that whole universal concept. You know, that's what they do. They take on the cultures that you study in these colleges. You take it upon yourself. You know. You got a quick another free. Because this knowledge, the truth.
No. It's blank. It's blank.
Yeah, basically, it's synonymous with this knowledge, this truth. Which is basically this word. Man. What do you got?
This is let me begin to see it.
Hold that. Somebody give me Sirach, the 6th chapter real quick. 6. To show you that the garment is this wisdom. The righteous wisdom. Sirach 6. Come to where her. Go down, go to the next page. 26. No.
Hey.
6 and 20. Yeah. Robe of honor.
Oh, okay.
Start around 25.
Gotcha.
And this is talking about the righteous wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 6, verse 25. Bow down thy shoulder and bear her her bonds.
This is talking about the true mother, which is this word, this wisdom. Okay? That's our real mother. That's the real mother you really need to be honoring. All right? This wisdom. Okay?
Verse 26. Come unto her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power.
Yep.
Verse 27. Search and seek.
Keep the laws, statutes, commandments. That's our wisdom. All right? The understanding of this book. All right? We gotta bring wear her on us like a robe, like a garment. And then it said, what did it say up above that? What did it say?
With thy feet to the feathers.
Yep. Yeah, read it again.
You want to go 24 up?
Yeah.
This is Sirach 6 and 24. And put thy feet unto her fetters, and thy neck unto her chain. Bow down thy shoulders and bear her.
Wear her like a chain, man. Rock, meaning rock her, man. Okay? Talking about this wisdom. Keep going.
Bow down thy shoulder and bear her.
Like a burden. Okay, bear her like a heavy burden, man. Go ahead.
And be not grieved with her bonds.
Don't be grieved with her bonds, man. It might be a little heaviness because it's a lot to deal with when you're dealing with this wisdom. All right?
Verse 26. Come into her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power.
Yep, with all your might.
Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee.
Yep.
And when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go.
Yeah, don't let her go. Take hold on her, man. Talking about this knowledge, this wisdom. Go ahead.
For at the last thou shalt find her rest, and that shall be turned into thy joy.
Keep going.
Then shall her fetters be a strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory.
And her chains a robe of glory. Go ahead. A robe of glory. That's your garment. All right? You put on these other nations, you're forsaking her. You put on the philosophy and the idolatry and the traditional customs of these other nations, you don't have her. And they forsook her and adopted the wisdom of these nations through the serpent. That's what happened to Eve, man. Okay? They were supposed to keep on this glorious garment, this glorious robe, but once they got into the philosophies of these other nations, they became naked. The Lord took it away. That's what happened to them in the garden, man. All right?
Verse 30. For there is a golden ornament upon her, and her bands are purple lace.
Yep. Her bands are like a purple lace, like a purple ribbon. And what do we wear on the bottom of our garments? The border of blue. And we rock the fringes right underneath. All right, to remind us of what? Of the commandments, which is our wisdom in the sight of the nations. But our people, they learn the wisdom of the other nations. They start worshiping their idols, take on their customs, adopt their traditions. That's what they do. And that's what they're doing even to this very day, right now as we speak. All these Mother's Day dinners, you know, all that cooking they doing today, Sunday dinner. Let me cook for you, Mom. You know? Or let's go out to eat. Let's go to the buffet.
Shrimp and lobster.
Let's go get you your shrimp and lobster that you like. Eating all type of abominations. And then got the nerve to pray over that shit. The Lord does not hear your prayer. When you turn your ear away from hearing the law of the Lord, even your prayer is an abomination, man. And the Lord also said, going back to Amos the 5th chapter, He despises and hates your feast days. He will not smell in a solemn assembly the fatness of your beast.
Okay.
And he said to take away from me the noise of thy vows, man. Your melodies. He don't want to hear that shit, man. You got your dear mama playing on the radio. There's a reason why the Lord took that dude out, man. He was pushing a wrong vibration out, man. Because he was raised by his mama. So he worshipped his damn mama, man. You know? Niggas get highly emotional over this woman, man.
Okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to respect your mother. The Lord told you to do that. But you done made it a idolatrous feast with the help of your oppressor. So now that we got an idea what that garment is, let's go back to Genesis. Now basically what it's saying is they didn't have that robe, that garment. They didn't have this knowledge, the true wisdom. All right? When you go to Sirach 19, and what was that? I believe 20-something, where it says, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. Okay? And that's what was given to Eve, and she passed it on to her husband, Adam.
22.
You found it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is Sirach 19 and 22. The knowledge of wisdom, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom.
Yep.
Neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence.
That's right, man. So what she was given, it wasn't really wisdom. All right, it was just the knowledge of wickedness that she was able to learn from these heathen nations. What are some of those knowledge of, what are some of the knowledge that our people adhere to today that they go by? Homosexuality, lesbianism, okay, same-sex marriage, are women being equal with men or women being over the men? You know? That's the knowledge of wickedness, man. Teaching you that your common ancestor is a fish or an ape, a monkey. You know? That's the knowledge of evil, man, wickedness. That you could do as you will.
Okay.
You could do as what you please. You only live once. All right? God loves everybody.
False.
False.
Okay.
That's what the serpent told you. All right? So on and so forth, man. We can keep going. Basically, to deviate away from the law, statutes, commandments is the knowledge of wickedness, man.
Okay.
All right? When you say it's okay to transgress the laws of the Most High and live after that manner, that's the knowledge of wickedness. That's not wisdom. And the so-called black woman, she's the forerunner in the so-called black community, and really the Hispanic tribes too. They're the forerunners of pagan traditions. She pushes it highly, man.
Because it keeps her in power.
Yeah.
It keeps her ruling over the men.
And that's not supposed to be.
That's how the Lord didn't make it like
The
that.
Lord said the women ain't supposed to assert no authority over the men.
Well, the brother's finna read down to it. It's gonna go into it. This is what the Lord originally intended for mankind on the planet Earth. But mankind sought out their own inventions and turned everything right side up. Salakia, upside down. Okay? Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 12. And the man said, the woman who thou gavest to me to be with me, she
Get your ass out of here, Esau. You going into slavery.
That's right.
You going into slavery. I can't wait till you get burned. I can't wait to put a rod on your back.
Fucking devil.
I mean, this dude don't even have no upper
You
teeth.
ain't got no teeth.
He ain't even got no teeth.
That's from blowing rod, Esau. You ain't got no teeth. Go blow some more rod. You homo.
Crackhead.
Hold it, brother. Don't let these demons take out the spirit, though. You know?
We still in the spirit. We just had to cut them up.
Keep going,
Genesis
huh?
chapter 3, verse 12. And the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat.
See, he followed. He said, basically, he started blaming that woman. He said, she the one that gave me up that tree, and I started to eat. You know, I followed after her.
That's what, bro.
And that's what that was That was it.
That's what the men
That's
on
all
the
it took.
tribes do.
And that's what the men do to this very day.
Good.
You following after that woman. That's why there's an entire national holiday after this woman where you following and giving nothing but reverence to her, man.
Praise and
Undeserved praise, man.
Kind.
they doing whole specials on TV. Mama, thank you, Mama. All this shit on TV. Thank you, Mama. Mama this, Mama that.
You know that movie Soul Food is playing as a rerun on
God.
BET right now. You know?
What Big Mama do? Fed you all that
Abominable food.
abominable food till you got a goddamn leg cut off.
Yep. Diabetes.
And what they do after that, they went and ate the same shit again.
Yep.
They didn't learn shit from Big Mama,
Yep.
but wickedness.
Kind.
Yep.
This is verse 13. And the Lord Yahweh said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat.
Showing you that's how you know she's the weaker vessel.
Yeah.
Because you can easily get into the mind of a woman and manipulate her. And that's what the serpent knew, and that's what he did. They're easily manipulated, man. Okay?
Especially on this side, women are manipulated by money,
Shiny
vain,
vanity.
all kind of.
It's all vanity.
Yeah,
Any-
all vanity,
Any kind of
man.
vanity you got.
Yeah. Yep.
Any vanity.
Yep.
You get their nails done, they'll do what you want them to do.
You give them some
You give them
food.
their hair done, they do what you want to do. You know, you give them something shiny, they do what you want to do. But once you do, they want to rule over you.
Yep.
You
That's
know,
it. And that's not supposed
that's
to
why
be.
you're not supposed to give your strength to a woman.
That's right, man. Hey, yeah, finish that and then get that in Sirach that you was holding.
Verse 14. And the Lord Yahweh said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field.
Yep.
Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and the dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life.
Which is confusion. All right, his lie is going to be to spread confusion all throughout the world, man. And he's doing that. Now here we are in Babylon, the city of confusion, where the Edomites, that same spirit of the serpent, is ruling over Babylon. Confusing the masses of the people, man. And still beguiling these damn simple-minded women. Okay? Same shit. Got her thinking that she got so much power, she could take it to the streets and march and whine and hold up banners every time she don't get her fucking way. All right?
Kind. You supposed to give reverence to the same woman, the same female that's calling herself a slut and walking for slut walks.
Yeah, slut walks. We supposed to worship sluts. Only in America, man.